In today's Procreate tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to draw this landscape with a city view in a few easy steps. You can get all tutorial files via the free download link in the video description, and if you are ready, let's get started. Let's start by creating a new horizontal canvas with a size of 2500 by 2000 pixels. To make the drawing process fun and easy, I've made a combined set that has brushes from my urban brush set, as well as some nature and clouds brushes. Also, I added a couple of stamps that we already used in the fantasy space illustration with pyramids. This bundle is free to download along with the color palette via the Gumroad link in the video description. If you'd like to get full nature, urban, clouds brush sets and many other exclusive brushes, please check out my Patreon page. It also has tons of in-depth drawing tutorials and brush making videos. The link to my Patreon can be also found below this video. Without further ado, let's start drawing. To create the foreground, we can go to the color palette and select color number 8. Then from the brush list, select grass blade straight. Set the size to around 8% and start making strokes like this. Let's make it a bit higher in the center. I will continue painting going down. We can lift the pencil up and remove all the gaps. Keep the edge textured. So I will make a few more strokes, like this. Then click on the arrow to open transformation menu. We can switch to warp. I just want to add a subtle angle. So I will stretch it to the left like this. Also move the top part a little to the right. And this one to the left. We can now move it and scale. Make sure there are no gaps. Alright, this is ready. We can go ahead and add one more layer. Let's drag it underneath. Then select color 15 from the palette and change the brush into Faraway Mountains. Here the size can be set to 15%. And I will start making strokes like this. Going upper in the center and then down again to get something like this. Let's paint it all at the bottom. Let me adjust it a little bit so it goes a little higher. And now that we have the shape, we can add more colors to it. For that we need to alpha lock the layer first and select the next color number 16. Let's make a few strokes on top of the shape to highlight it a little bit. Then go even lighter with the next color. I will also make a stroke here. And on this side. At the bottom of the shape, let's apply color 19. It will go up this way for the shadow. And we will also blend all the colors together. Before we add more highlights, let's change the background color. So I will add one more layer and place it below. Let me select color 1 from the palette and just drag it on the canvas to fill it. Then we can add one more layer above it. Select color 2, which is light yellow, and go to selection. Let's switch to rectangle and activate color fill option. Outline a rectangle at the bottom like this. Paint approximately more than half. Now we need to remove the selection. Go to adjustments and apply Gaussian blur. just slide to the right to get a gradient. This is ready. We can go back to layer 2, add another one above it, and clip. Let's also set the layers mode to color dodge to get a subtle glow. We can use color 18 and oil pastel brush. Let's set the size to around 34% and start to paint like this. Apply low pressure first and press more right on the edge. Let's work on this part. Move down. Just like this. Let's apply it on the left side as well. We can make some of the strokes wider to make them more highlighted. Just a couple more. And I think it is enough. We can just make it a bit wider here, right on top. Now we can go to layer 1, also add another one on top of it, and clip. Let's add a subtle highlight here too, using color 22. This time I will go to airbrushing and select soft brush. Increase the size and just make a stroke on top to make it slightly highlighted, like this. Now the foreground is almost ready. We can just add a tree on top. We can merge these two layers and also this. Then go ahead and create a new layer on top of all layers. Let's select base color for the foliage. It will be number 10. Go back to the brush set and grab leaves brush. Let me set the size to around 20% and make a few strokes on top of the canvas, starting from the left side and go to the right like this. It may go slightly down, maybe here. And after we made this shape, we can add a few fallen leaves. Let's use flowers too. Just tap a few times with different sizes. I will add another here. And it is enough. Once we have this shape, we can add more colors to it. For that we need to alpha lock the layer first. Switch to the next color, number 11. And go back to the previous brush with the leaves. Let's use it with the same size. Just make strokes at the bottom. This way. Then I will pick next color, number 12. And apply it too. Just like this. In the end we can add color 13. Right on the edge. And once the shape is ready, we can add a cityscape on the background. Let's go to the layer 4 for that and add another one above. Let's apply a few colors for the buildings, starting with number 3. I will pick City Silhouette brush, set its size to 12% and start to paint horizontally. Apply low pressure first to make it pale. And then press More. This is how the brush works. We can go all the way down here to paint this area. And then switch to the next color. It will be number 4. This time I will start to paint a little lower. And with low pressure, make one stroke, then increase it. Let's go darker with color 5. Move down. Paint this area. And then grab color 6, which is also darker. I will paint with low pressure first, then also increase it. And at the bottom of the shape, we can apply color 7. That will be the darkest. I will start to paint this way and press More right at the bottom. We will get this shape. Now let's click on the arrow and in the transformation menu, switch to Freeform. We can drag it a bit down and this side will go up. And after this step, we can add city lights. For that, let's create a layer on top of this one and set it to Add Mode to make it glow. Let's select color 14 as the base color and go to pick a brush with city lights. We have 2 here, so we can combine them. I will start with city lights 3. Let's use a combination of city lights, starting with number 3. We can set the size to around 5 or 6% and apply it like this on the buildings. It may go even higher. And after this one, we can use number 2. Set this one to 20% and just make a few strokes here on the horizon for smaller lights. We can add them here too. Now after we did that, let's add a sunrise. For that I will create a layer under the buildings and also set it to Add. With the same color, I will use Scattered Light brush. It is also from Urban Brushes. Set the size to 24% and just tap somewhere here, in the center. Now we can move it a bit. Adjust it in freeform if needed. And blur it just a little bit, using Gaussian blur. I will set the amount to 27%. Now we can add the layer above the buildings. Clip it. And set it to Vivid Light. Switch to color 9 from the palette. And also grab Soft Brush from Airbrushing section. Set the size to 18%. And make a subtle stroke here to highlight the buildings. Now let's go to the layer with the city lights and add another one above it. Also set it to Add Mode. Grab 14th color and apply one more brush called Shiny Splashes. I'll set the size to 12% and just tap a couple of times on the buildings. Now we can blur it. And also move. Let me just lower the opacity a little bit. And it will be enough. The background is almost ready. We can just add some clouds. To do that, let's create a layer above number 4. In the same brush set, pick Clouds Brush Narrow. Let's select color 23 from the palette and set the size to 14%. Make a few strokes here. Also on this side. And then grab color 24. Paint more going up. Now let's open the layer and scroll down. I will set it to Vivid Light and lower the opacity of the layer to around 53%. To add more clouds, we can create one more layer on top. Here I will use 2 more colors. Starting with 21, we can make the size a bit bigger and apply it on top of the canvas, behind the tree. Then I will pick this dark color 20 and make even more strokes. Let's also change the layers mode here. It can be pin light. Let me lower the opacity here too. And this is also done. When the drawing is almost ready, let's make a couple of adjustments. I'd like to keep the focus on the background. So let's go to the layer with the foliage. Remove Alpha Lock from the layer. Then go to Adjustments and pick Perspective Blur. Just slide a bit to the right. Then we can go to the layer with the buildings. Add another one on top of it. It is already clipped here. So we can grab color 3 from the palette, together with soft brush. Just make a stroke here, at the lower edge. Now let's use the same color. Just create a layer under this one. And paint a little on the left, to darken it a little. We can set it to multiply mode and reduce the opacity, like this. Maybe another stroke on this one. And in the middle of the composition, we can put a character. So let's add a layer here, above the green color. I will select color 10 from the palette. Then go back to the bundle to pick a stamp. There is a man and a woman. I will use woman silhouette. Set the size to 10 or 11% and just tap on the canvas. We can now move it and scale a little. Now let's duplicate it to add the shadow. Go to this one, click on the arrow, and flip it vertical. We need to drag it down this way. Then switch to distort and move it just a little bit to the side. Then I will grab a razor. It is set to soft brush. And we can erase it like this. In the end, we can add highlights. So let's go back to the initial layer with the woman. We can create another one above it. Clip it. And select all pastel brush. Let's add some pink colors. For example, this one, number 12. We need to lower the brush size and draw on the edge. On the shoulder, go down and put it on the leg too. We can make this part a bit wider. And then select color 13. Put it right on the edge to get it more highlighted. Now after this final step, our drawing is complete. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more tutorials and brush sets, check out my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon!